The next time you walk outside to refill your bird feeder, take a moment and listen carefully to the sounds around you. The rustle of the seed bag, the tap of seeds hitting the plastic feeder, the metallic squeak of the hanging hook swaying gently in the morning wind. To most people, these noises feel completely harmless and even comforting. They are simply part of a peaceful daily routine that connects us to nature in a quiet and meaningful way. But according to wildlife experts and behavioral researchers, animals notice patterns far more deeply than humans ever realize. In suburban neighborhoods across the country, many predators quietly and consistently learn where food activity happens most often throughout the week. Hawks carefully observe areas where songbirds gather every single day without fail. Raccoons, rats, and other opportunistic animals memorize the exact locations where spilled seed appears regularly on the ground below. Even small repeated movements and familiar sounds can slowly become powerful signals that attract unwanted attention over time. This does not mean that bird feeders are inherently dangerous or that feeding birds is somehow wrong or irresponsible. In fact, backyard feeding can genuinely help birds survive through difficult seasons when natural food sources become scarce due to cold temperatures or habitat loss. The real problem begins only when human routines become extremely predictable and unchanging day after day. Nature adapts with surprising speed, and animals are constantly studying and identifying opportunities for easy and reliable food sources. What feels like a calm and peaceful morning hobby to us can slowly and quietly transform into a highly active feeding zone, attracting many different species at once. Most people imagine predators hunting randomly and unpredictably deep in the wilderness, but modern suburban ecosystems actually function very differently from that traditional image. Wildlife has adapted to human neighborhoods with remarkable and sometimes startling intelligence over the past several decades. Cooper's hawks and sharp-shinned hawks, for example, are now commonly spotted hunting near residential homes, specifically because bird feeders naturally concentrate prey animals into one small and easily observable area. Instead of searching endlessly across wide-open landscapes for scattered individual birds, these skilled predators simply wait patiently near locations where birds reliably gather every morning. Wildlife researchers have carefully observed that hawks often perch silently in nearby trees, watching feeding stations from a comfortable distance without alarming the birds below. The moment songbirds become distracted while eating and lose their natural alertness, the hawk strikes with sudden explosive speed and devastating precision. Songbirds normally survive in the wild by staying highly alert to surrounding movement and approaching danger, but crowded feeders can gradually reduce their awareness because food becomes the overwhelming center of their attention. Ground predators benefit equally from poorly managed feeding stations. When excess seed falls and accumulates beneath feeders, it steadily attracts mice, squirrels, chipmunks, and rats, searching eagerly for easy and effortless meals. Over time, these small animals begin creating regular and predictable traffic patterns throughout the yard, which in turn attracts snakes, foxes, feral cats, and other skilled hunters following the food chain upward. This creates an entire and complex ecological chain reaction that most homeowners never notice unfolding quietly, right outside their windows every day. A single poorly maintained feeder can unintentionally reshape the behavior of multiple species across the surrounding neighborhood without anyone realizing it. Another critically important issue that wildlife experts frequently discuss is the matter of sanitation and long-term environmental balance around feeding stations. When feeders become overcrowded with too many birds visiting at once, disease can spread far more easily through shared surfaces, contaminated seed husks, and accumulated droppings on perches and feeding ports. Moisture trapped inside dirty or neglected feeders often leads to harmful bacteria growth, dangerous mold development, and fungal contamination that can cause serious and sometimes fatal illness in small birds. This is precisely why reputable wildlife organizations consistently recommend cleaning feeders thoroughly and frequently, and rotating feeding spots occasionally when possible throughout the season. A truly healthy and responsible feeding station should support birds naturally without creating unnecessary stress, overcrowding, or dangerous dependency on human-provided food alone. Birds still need to actively forage in the wild and carefully maintain their natural survival instincts across different environments. Experts also issue an important warning against creating loud and repetitive routines that occur at the exact same time every single day without variation. Animals are genuinely exceptional at recognizing and memorizing consistent daily schedules with remarkable accuracy. If food-related activity consistently appears every morning at precisely 7 o'clock, nearby predators may begin adjusting and carefully timing their own movements directly around those established routines. Fortunately, there are several straightforward and practical ways to meaningfully reduce these risks while still fully enjoying the rewarding hobby of bird feeding. Filling feeders indoors before carrying them outside significantly reduces unnecessary noise exposure in the yard. Using quieter, smoother containers and avoiding excessive shaking or rattling helps minimize sudden sound cues that alert watching predators nearby. The genuinely encouraging news is that bird feeding can absolutely remain one of the most rewarding and meaningful ways to connect personally with the natural world when approached with proper care and thoughtful responsibility. Watching brilliantly colorful songbirds visit your backyard regularly can meaningfully reduce daily stress, build greater awareness about local wildlife populations, and help people appreciate the richness of nearby ecosystems in a much deeper and more personal way than before. The goal of all this information is never fear or discouragement, but rather genuine understanding and informed appreciation. Nature is constantly and actively adapting to human activity and presence in ways both visible and invisible. And even the smallest daily habits can significantly influence the behavior and movement patterns of animals living all around us. By making just a few thoughtful and intentional adjustments to your routine, you can create a feeding environment that genuinely supports birds while meaningfully reducing unnecessary ecological risks. Keep feeders consistently clean and well-maintained throughout every season. Avoid overfilling them beyond what visiting birds can reasonably consume within a day or two. Actively reduce loud and repetitive sounds during filling and maintenance routines. Pay close and regular attention to predator activity patterns developing in your immediate area, and always provide birds with nearby shrubs or natural cover where they can retreat and hide safely when danger approaches. Most importantly, always remember that wildlife notices developing patterns long before most humans ever begin to pay attention. Every familiar sound, repeated movement, and established routine gradually becomes a recognized part of the surrounding environment that local animals learn to navigate and exploit skillfully each day. A safer and healthier backyard requires no drastic changes. It simply requires genuine understanding of how the living ecosystem surrounding your home truly and beautifully works.